this is either a really good idea or a really dumb one, and I don't know which it is yet. It is 3:27 in the morning. I have not slept yet, and this is the first that I am picking up my camera in the new year. So happy, very belated new year to you guys. I hope that 2026 has been treating you kindly. Thank you for being patient with me while I haven't been posting on social media the past few weeks. I have been very busy working on an exciting little project that unfortunately I can't even share with you guys yet because it's not finished, but I'm hoping to share that sometime soon. And it does have to do with what we are doing today in this video, which is making stained glass art. If you guys are new to my channel, hi, I'm Casey. I live in my self-converted camper van, full-time on the road with my cat Olive. And in the last year, I took up making stained glass art as my creative hobby of choice. I would say I'm still very much a beginner when it comes to stained glass art. I've only made a handful of pieces so far, and they have all taken me like 3 to 4 days to make. But I have 4 pieces of stained glass art that I need to make before the first week of February. Lucky for me, I am somebody who is fueled and motivated by a deadline and a little bit of pressure. I was always a procrastinator in school. I would save all of my work until the very last second, and then I would get it done in sort of a panic and caffeine fueled frenzy. And so I thought, why not do that again and make a little challenge for myself and see if I can make one of my pieces of stained glass art from start to finish in the next 24 hours. I am going to let myself take breaks, so I'm also going to keep a stopwatch on my iPad going so I can log my actual working hours. And just in case you're wondering why I am starting the challenge when I haven't slept, instead of just going to sleep and starting it in the morning, certain steps of the process I have to do outside because the van is not a well-ventilated area, and I would prefer to do all of those steps in the daylight. So the first couple steps of the process I can do here in the van, and I'm just trying to time the whole process with the sun, if that makes sense. I just don't want to lose any daylight hours if I can help it. The first step is cutting our template and stickering all of the pieces onto our glass. So let's get to work.
Who told you that it was too late? When was it that you started leaning that way? 4 tires cut into the clay. It dries up and now there's just one road to take. It's growing up over with green. So easy to drive on, but not what it seems. The poison is spilling upstream, and it's taking out every living thing. Every living thing. Who told you that you were no good? There's no use in trying, and even if you could, it wouldn't come out like it should. This stubborn kudzu just covers these words. Could you listen to somebody else? Will you only drink from the thoughts of yourself? Are you under the canopy spell? You dig in your heels and spread the disease. You're spreading the disease.
Well, Olive just woke up from her slumber and emerged from her igloo. Now she's cleaning herself, so I don't think she's gonna come over and say hi to you guys yet, but I just finished cutting the template, putting all the stickers onto our glass pieces, and now they are ready for rough cuts. I've never actually done this step inside the van before, just in case little tiny pieces of glass break off. I always do it outside, but we're just gonna have to make it work. I'm gonna tarp my work surface and clean up well afterwards, make sure there's nothing on the floor. And I'm also gonna wear my goggles for this step. So good.
In the morning, when you walk away, my heart drops to the floor. They said it would get easier, but I don't know who for. Days move fast and now I swear I can feel them slip away. But some things last forever, the love that never fades. It's easy to make promises for the young and free, but you kept every word you said and you stayed true to me. We lean into the great beyond, there's more love yet to make. 'Cause some things last forever, but love that never fades. He left her slowly as his mind lost more every day. Quietly she walked beside and tended in her way. Now the bed he built for two is cold, but her memories have stayed. Because some things last forever, the love that never fades.
Well, I took a nap. I was getting pretty tired, so I've slept for a few hours. I'm feeling much better now. The sun is up, I got changed into my day clothes, and I am eating some breakfast right now. So I'm taking a little break to chat with you guys and tell you the progress that we've made. I just finished doing all of the rough cuts for my glass pieces, so you can kind of tell what the vibe is that I'm going for color-wise. This is obviously like the back of the design because the stickers are still on all of the fronts of them. But you can sort of get the idea. And you will notice I have mirrored pieces in this pattern that you would not have seen me cutting in any of those clips because I actually had to cut these a few days ago. Mirrors, when you use them in stained glass, you actually have to prep them with a sealant on the back so that they don't get mirror rot over time. So I cut these, ground these down, and then sealed them like 2 days ago with a couple coats of clear nail polish on the back. So yeah, that was sort of cheating, but that whole process took me like 45 minutes total. So I'm just gonna add that time in at the end of this challenge so we have a better idea of actually how long it has taken me. But yeah, it was like a necessary evil to do this ahead of time. So the next step is grinding down all of my pieces, and that way they will fit a lot more nicely together. I'm thinking this will take me a couple hours. It would be optimistic to shoot for an hour and a half. I think it might be more like 2 or 2.5 hours. So we'll see how it goes.
If only I could finish something. straight through to the end. Close the chapter, dignified. Dang, girl, you did it again. But will it ever be enough? When I'm bent on trying to keep it tough, will I ever settle down? Happy with the here and now. When will it ever be enough? Ever be enough? Ever be enough? If only I could build a tower, pierce right through the clouds.
Well, you guys, I woefully underestimated just how long that was going to take me. It is almost 2 p.m. It's been over 5.5 hours of working hours, and I just finished grinding all of the pieces down. I am working while I talk to you guys, so sorry if I seem distracted. I do not have enough time to take a designated break to update you. But I am taking off all of the template stickers and then wiping all the pieces down to prep them for the next step, which is copper foiling. Copper foiling is actually, for me, one of the longer parts of this process, and it's very monotonous. It usually takes me at least a couple hours to do, which isn't good because I think even if I hurry through this, I would be lucky to start soldering by like 4 p.m. And the sun sets here at 6, so I am mentally preparing myself to do at least part of this project tonight after sundown with my headlamp on. I hope either this step or soldering goes more quickly than I am anticipating, but we will see. I think I'm just gonna try to power through this and there's not much to show you guys anyway. I'm probably just gonna put on a show and watch it while I work. So I'll check in with you guys once everything is foiled.
I don't think about it. About you leaving me. I don't know who I'd be. Would everything we built just turn to broken leaves? I don't think about it. Do you think of me? Walking out that door. Never hearing me talk to myself in the morning anymore. Would it all just turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn? You don't think about it.
Well, the sun has set and this is not soldered. What happened? I forgot one very important thing. When I was positioning all of my glass pieces and I had finally gotten them perfect and taped and ready for soldering, the sun had basically set at that point. It was already 5:45 and I forgot to factor in the temperature change here. The whole time I've been talking about soldering, like I had the option to do it after the sun went down, and I would do it at night with my headlamp, and I totally forgot how chilly it gets once the sun sets here. When I went to pick up my piece, I felt that the glass was cold to the touch. And the thing about mixing cold glass and a 700-degree soldering iron is you are pretty much asking for heat fractures at that point. I have never not soldered in the daylight, in the sun, in a warm environment, so I don't have a whole lot of firsthand experience with this, but it just doesn't sound like a good idea to me. And because this is a gift for somebody, and I wasn't just making this piece for myself or for the sake of this challenge, I just don't think it's worth kind of needlessly following this entirely self-inflicted deadline at the risk of ruining it or doing something to it that I would then have to fix later anyway. So I made the executive decision to put a pin in this challenge. That's the thing about living in a van, you guys, and not having an actual studio to work out of. I'm sure it would be handy in moments like this, but I'm kind of at the whim of the weather and the elements and the outdoor space that I borrow in order to do this. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get some dinner and just go to sleep, and I will pick this back up right where I left off in the morning once the sun is back up.
Hidden compartments beneath the floorboards, secret encoders made only for us. You let your hair, I let my guard down. I was the wall, you 1989. Everything gone, just in a heartbeat. Lost in a crowd, exile on Main Street. Letters and smoke, a chain reaction. Was I supposed to feel this attraction? Borderlines, did we cross them? Borderlines and blurred out signs, have we lost them? Watching towers rise above in the floodlights. Borderlines have come through the lives of the loved ones. I wasn't aware of ways you would be mine, and how I would fall just like November 9. Letters and smoke, a chain reaction. Was I supposed to feel this attraction? Borderlines, did we cross them? Borderlines and blurred out signs, have we lost them? Watching towers rise above in the floodlights. Borderlines have come through the lives of the loved ones.
Alrighty, you guys, it is really windy, so I'm sorry about this audio. It's probably going to be really bad, but it is finished. I didn't get much footage of me actually soldering it because it was so windy my camera blew over twice, and luckily it didn't break, but I was not going to push my luck, so I just put it away. So sorry about that, but I did solder the piece, I polished it, I attached all the chains to it, and this is what it looks like, totally finished. What do you guys think? I love it so much. You really can't even tell how pretty the colors are because there's no sun today to show you, but I think it is really beautiful. I added this crystal to the bottom, which is easily detachable if, you know, if she doesn't like it and it's visually distracting. But when there is sun to catch, this will reflect little prisms and rainbows all around the room. So I think it'll be really beautiful and really whimsical with the right lighting. I'm really happy with it though, and in case you guys were curious about the time commitment, it ended up taking me 12 hours, 2 minutes, and 33 seconds. And that is not including the 45 minutes that it took to prep all the mirror pieces. So really that's more like 12 hours and 45 minutes, which I'm sure is gonna be edited down to like a 20 or 25 minute video for you guys. But thanks for coming along on the little crafting pursuit with me. If you have any suggestions for pieces that you'd like for me to make in the future, or just stained glass ideas, I would love them. So leave them in the comments. I'm always looking for some creative inspiration. But yeah, thanks so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye. You just go to sleep, wake up, and then start the challenge. Challenge? You cleaning yourself? I'm trying not to talk too loudly because my neighbors are outside. And I think they can hear me.